Hi everyone. Today's video is a deck request by V's. We are playing rifles, rockets, drone swarm, Mowhawk gunship, Hammerhead, and of course the Mammoth Tank. If you learned something or liked the video, please let me know by dropping a like or share your comment with me. This deck's strength is that once you get your Mammoth, it is the strongest unit in the game. Period. The Hammerhead can cover air-to-air, and Jackson provides his boost, which main purpose is speed, to ensure your Mammoth reaches the pads before the second missile fires. The deck's main weaknesses are rushes, so we will focus on our strategy early. Our goals will be: decide whether we can go double harvester as soon as possible. 2. Scout and defend rushes. 3. Stall until we get to Mammoth. 4. Win. Alright, so let's see the first game.
Establishing battlefield control. 3.
Alright, we are up against Jade, so we have to be aware of rushes. Take the bottom, the bigger Tiberium field, which gives us an economically advantage once the first fields get depleted and the first harvester has to move to the next field. We haven't seen any signs of rushes, so we go second harvester as soon as possible and start scouting. We see attack bikes, but that's no problem because they don't do very much damage against our rifles, and we already have our missile troopers out. We scout his cam buggy and can tech switch into our Mowhawk. We make the mistake of not finishing his attack bikes, but yeah, we quickly manage to do that, and our Mowhawk can fight his cam buggy without problems. We have to defend against the attack bikes, but when we get the defender's advantage, we win. Here, unfortunately, he has his Phantom, and we builded 2 Mowhawks. Luckily, the second Mowhawk survives, and we can stall at the top pad and send a fresh Mowhawk down. Our Hammerhead survives the volley of a Phantom. Unfortunately, he gets the stall. Here our missile troopers can fight any of his units without being countered, so we can take the first missile. Yeah. We start harassing his harvester, but our main focus is getting to the Mammoth as soon as possible now. Now we have our Mammoth Tank out, and we want to start pressuring him. Since he has 2 Phantoms, to prevent him from shooting down our Hammerhead in one volley, we go missiles instead, because the Phantom has no way to attack them. He has a Basilisk, but we have missiles and we could build a Hammerhead later, and our Mammoth has a lot of health. So now we just try to go for the pads and win. Alright. Good start. Let's move to the second game.
Establishing battlefield control.
So, second game, we are up against Seth, which also is an aggressive commander. We move our harvester down to take the bigger Tiberium field, and here Since the upper pad turned red without us having vision, we are forced to scout.
Unit ready.
We move away from the cyber wheels to not take any unnecessary damage. Also, it stalls the game because he stops charging. We move our rifles in to make sure he cannot go 2v1 with maybe a new pair of cyber wheels.
Building online.
And now the cam buggy
Unit lost.
forces us to tech switch. We move our harvester to safety to ensure our opponent does not get an economically lead. Here it's no point to move the missiles, instead we let them do some last damage before they die. Our missile troopers can fight the Banshee while the Mowhawk can fight
Unit
the
enhanced.
vehicles.
Harvester
Here
ready.
we boost our missiles and pray that our harvester survives. We get lucky and it does.
Unit ready.
We stall a bit and move our missiles up. So he realized that he will lose this missile
Building online.
and he goes for our harvester instead.
Ready.
But since we have late game and we have a very strong unit,
Unit ready.
we are very happy to trade our harvester for the first missile. Now we do some micro dancing, we start harassing his harvester and defending the pad.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Now that we have our Mammoth Tank out, we can start putting on pressure.
Warning. Our base is under attack.
Maybe we could ignore his Phantom, but to make sure it does not become a problem, we fight it with our missile troops and we fight the Banshee with our Hammerhead. So we take advantage of good matchups. Yeah, now we have our second Mammoth Tank. He is still struggling, but at this point there is no way he can come back.
Nuclear warhead launched.
We boost the Mammoth for fun and that's the second game.
Establishing battlefield control. 3, 2,
Okay, game 3.
new objective available.
This time on a different map. Here we move our harvester down and we see that he charges the rear pad.
Harvester ready.
Let me pause for a brief moment. We also see that he hasn't moved forward, neither in this direction nor in this direction. And since he is charging the pad with one unit, he most likely went first harvester afterwards, so we can build our second harvester safely as soon as possible.
Building online.
We start scouting and we see that he has cyber wheels. We try to preserve the health of our rifleman, make him move around a bit and stall the pads. Here we do a little micro trick. We move our rifles up and this way our missile troopers can fight 1v1, which they win, and he cannot build a 2v1 concave and kill our missiles.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Of course he has an answer to this because he has an aggressive deck,
Unit
but
lost.
we have stalled quite some time now. We try to stall a bit more, maybe kill a few of his fanatics. Yeah. And now of course there will come a point that he overwhelms us on the first missile.
Nuclear missile launched.
But we stalled quite a bit and we have some economy.
Structural damage received.
Now we have to...
Unit ready.
Now I was afraid that he might come for our harvester, and indeed he did with his bike, but he does not seem to make much moves forward. Since he has a stealth tank,
Unit lost.
so now he has control of all the pets, he has a stealth tank and flamers, so everything I build he can counter. So I have only one choice, and that is to save up for Mammoth and hope that it gets to the pets in time. So let's see.
Unit ready.
Yeah, now I'm saving up for Jackson to boost my Mammoth and get onto the
Unit
pets.
ready. Unit enhanced.
Here I waited so I can run over the infantry, which is a very efficient and quick way to kill
Unit lost.
multiple units, because you can fire on the vehicles and just run over the infantry. Now we have to do...
Unit lost. Missile
We are
cancelled.
juggling back and forth
Warhead launched.
and try to take over control of the game. Our Mowhawk is a little addition which was cheap and lets us control one more pet for not much money.
Unit enhanced.
Here a neat little trick. I was at the back pad and the stealth tank had to move onto the pad, which made it visible. So my Mammoth was able to fight first, and since he does a lot of damage, the stealth tank dies before it can even shoot. If he would have stayed here and I would maybe make a stupid move and make my Mammoth up, maybe the stealth tank could have at least dealt a lot of damage. Yeah, I was going for his harvester, but he realized that the game is over and surrenders. So, quick third game.
Establishing battlefield control. 3, 2, 1. New objective received.
So here we are up against Lyang, and Lyang is very likely to go double harvester himself. Also, GDI's main rush threat are jump jets, which are common with Solomon but not with others, so we can go double harvester very confident. See that he has a unit on the pads, so we are forced to build a scouting unit. We start fighting his missiles,
Unit ready.
and we are starting a little rifle war,
Enhanced.
which means that
Unit lost. Building online.
we may be able to stall, but he has a Talon, and yeah,
Unit lost. Unit
we struggle a bit, but he wins first missile.
major structural damage.
Unfortunately, we move our Hammerhead a bit, and the second and he takes more damage than he must have. We position our Hammerhead in a defensive tile, so that the Talon would at least take the first shot. Now we micro around and we harass his missiles. We build a second rifle squad and we start engaging his units. We are lucky that the Talon gets taken down.
Unit ready.
And at this point our Hammerheads are stronger than his Talons, and we can slowly push him back.
Nuclear warhead launched.
We take the second missile, and now we have
Unit ready.
our Mammoths.
Unit lost.
Since zone troopers are infantry, we can run them over even if they are tech. He even built more zone troopers,
Unit lost.
So if we do a little quick math, he built 2 squads of zone troopers, which are 240 plus 1 rifle squad, which is also 250 like our Mammoth. But our Mammoth is almost at full health and his units are already down. So this is a huge win for us.
Unit ready.
Now that we know that's the tech mirror, we want to get the economically lead by taking down his harvester,
Unit enhanced.
which gives us more money and puts him behind. We
Unit
see that
ready.
it's even a unit mirror, not just a tech mirror, and because we killed his harvester, we now have 2 mammoth tanks and he only has 1. So this means
Enhanced. Nuclear missile
this means we
launched.
have the unit lead and can push him back.
Establishing battlefield control. 3, 2, 1. New objective received.
Alright, last game of our Mammoth Blitz. We take the bigger Tiberium field again
Harvester ready.
and we go into a bit risky double harvester because we haven't seen anything yet. But most people would move their laser drones, which is the biggest threat of not, in a straight line. So we would have thought them on the bottom pad. So since we have 4 wins in the bank yet, I was confident enough to go double harvester.
Building online.
We build a scouting unit and we see that he has rifles. So at this point there's no real threat. We start stalling by moving onto the pad, and unfortunately we see the laser drones a bit too late. But we can move our harvesters to safety to buy some time and switch into missiles. Our bottom harvester can continue harvesting and we move the harvesters through our missile squad to force him to take damage while he harasses the harvester. We saved up some money to tech switch.
Warning. Enemy catalyst missile incoming.
We dodge a not so great catalyst missile. And now, yeah, and we take first missile pretty confident.
Missile launched. Building online.
We start harassing his harvester since there is no threat on the board yet, and we just save for our Mammoth Tank.
Unit ready.
Mammoth camps out and we don't see any
Unit enhanced.
countermeasures from him. At this point I feel he's either saving up for an avatar or he has given up, and yeah, now it seems that unfortunately he did, and we try to finish the game as soon as possible before he has time to rethink and build something else. Yeah. And that's our 5th win in the bank. So at this point, thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. If you want to see me play a deck suggestion of yours, just let me know in the comments below and I try to come back to you. Bye!